Good evening, everyone. Hi. Um, I am so excited to be here, and I just was wondering if Tracy is with us because I see that she's with Win-Win Women. Would you like to?
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm so sorry. By mistake, I pressed my camera. Hi, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Living a Graceful Life. I'm Tracy Gelb. I'm the host, and I'm so happy and grateful to be interviewing my mother, Lana Gelb, this evening, or more not so much of an interview, but more of a chat. And I'll tell you just a little bit about her. She has been in wellness for 43 years, probably 44 by now, predominantly mostly holistic wellness, and she has just a fountain of knowledge and information on all to do with wellness. And we have my grandmother who lived, her mother, my Granny Pearl, who lived to be 102, but ended up getting, was it Alzheimer's, mom, or dementia?
Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's, which led my mom on another journey of learning more and more about the brain. About maybe 14 years ago, I would say, she started learning more about the brain, teaching and training in Ageless Grace, the program that we both train and teach. And so my mom is a big believer in prevention. What's that expression? An ounce of
Prevention. An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. I don't know,
I think
something
that's
like that.
correct. Yes. So, with that being said, I would like to welcome my beautiful, fantastic mother, Lana Gelb. Welcome, Mama.
Well, thank you, my fantastic daughter, Tracy Gelb, for introducing me that way. Yeah, I'm excited to be here, and um, I am doing two dynamic programs in March. So we wanted to just chat about that and see where this would go, because I'm very excited to be doing that. And they both brand new programs that I've never done before. And this is quite a challenge for me, but I'm excited about it.
Tell me about the first one, the one with Ageless Grace, and then we'll talk about the other one.
So the first one is I have developed a program for the Ageless Grace organization, and it's a certification. Up till now, they only just had one certification, which was for everybody, the Ageless Grace certification. And then I was fortunate enough to be able to develop a program for them in 2023, which was Ageless Grace for Parkinson's, like a specialty certification. And I did it twice. I did it once in 2023 and once in 2024. And then now, and on the 21st of March, I'm doing Asia's Grace for Alzheimer's and dementias. Yes. So dementia and Alzheimer's, it's called. So the people that do it will be fortunate enough to have a dual certification if they're not already certified. And if they are already certified, they have the certification. They also get recertified during this, but then they have the dual certification. They have the Alzheimer's one.
And I just want to talk a little bit about, we actually did this at the last wellness group. My mom and I do a wellness group together in Plantation. We were doing it every other Saturday, but right now the place that we normally do it is under construction. So we've just been doing it where we can at the library, and different things. So we were talking about things that we can do on a preventative measure to help the brain stem away from getting dementia and Alzheimer's. Give me a couple of tips for everybody and a couple of your pearls of wisdom, please.
So the first thing would be Ageless Grace. Ageless Grace is a brain body health program where you really are activating the five primary functions of the brain. But there are other things that can be done. And that's what I'm going to be doing in my second program, which are more like the tips. So the second program is 10 days later on the 31st of the month of March, which is about prevention and intervention. So this is all about preventing disease and more diagnoses, actually. And then it's also intervention, so that if somebody has something going on, uh, either physically or mentally, this is a program that I've been doing one-on-one mainly. But now I'm trying to get a group of people that it becomes a community. I really want this to be a community. I've seen how it works um, in the group that Tracy was talking about, the wellness support group, and people are very interested. It usually does end up with discussion on food. It just happens to evolve that way, but I think everybody's concerned about that. But in that program, I'm going to be giving other solutions other than um, the Aegis Grace, because I will have done that certification. And if people are interested in, getting a new career or adding to their credentials, or they have a loved one that is struggling in some way, uh, with cognitive decline, then they can do this, or they want to do classes. So that's the one part. Then the second part, which is the second program, is all about solutions, because we're living in a very strange world right now where many people, millions of people actually, are walking around declining, unfortunately, because of all the circumstances that they have personally, and also because of circumstances of the world. So one of the things that I've done for all these years is I've experimented, if you will, and tried and tested many different things that have been my issues as well, like post PTSD, or like different injuries that I've had throughout my career, many of them, from a back issue that stopped me from working for 5 days. I mean, I was literally not moving for 5 days, sorry, and stopped me from working for 3 weeks. And other injuries, my rotator cuff and my heel, which is still giving me a little bit of, um, how can I put it mildly? It's giving me a little trouble, and just certain things that have happened. So I experiment and I try. And one of the things that I do in my work is I'm a holistic practitioner. So I do not distribute medications. I'm with the other functional medicine people, and this is my orientation is to get to the root of the problem. Why is this happening? How did we get here? And I've noticed that most people don't ask themselves that question. They just assume that, okay, this is something that's happened to me, and I'm it's causing me this or it's causing me that, and I'll go to the doctor and get him to give me something for my symptoms. Well, this is a different orientation, and it's really getting very popular. As a matter of fact, yesterday and today, I listened to a summit that it's called, if anybody wants to look it up, it's called Beyond the Brain. And there are 40 holistic functional medicine people. They're all doctors that are presenting, and they give solutions very much like what I do, because they go to the root of the problem. and they're talking about the brain, but really it's not just the brain, it's the entire being. The entire being gets affected anytime there's anything that goes on.
So, thinking about that, I mean, I've learned so much. I've been staying with my mom. It's going to be 8 years next month, which is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, 8 years. I know, but it's been, most of the people know here. My sister passed. It will be 8 years. Which is why I started staying here. She passed away 8 years ago, but um, in a lot of ways, I believe that it was, it's always in God's hands. It's not in ours, but it probably saved my life, because I was on the same path we both were, not understanding what we were doing to ourselves. Obviously, there was a lot of trauma eating and different things we didn't understand. My mom would talk about toxicity, but we didn't understand what it was doing, the fragrances and the, different Febrezes and perfumes. And I think that being here for 8 years and being clean of those toxins and being, even though I was gambling, smoking, and drinking, I believe that it's helped me heal because I completely stopped all of that 3.5 years ago. So I think that this journey, I have an interesting thing, and I do believe that people come in our life for reasons and for different things. So I meet this beautiful 84-year-old woman in one of my new classes I'm teaching. I love this class. It's independent living, and it's amazing. And I've been hearing so much and learning so much about my mom from what perfume does to us, unfortunately, to our brain and to our whole system. And it does, it does help with, bringing on dementia and bringing on, Parkinson's and different autoimmune diseases. So I have this beautiful woman in my car. I want to drive her to my next class. I always say at this class, does anyone want to come to my next one? No one ever says yes, but she did. So we became friends, and she had perfume that was too much for me. I opened all the windows, but I didn't want to say anything ever to hurt her. But I wanted somehow like an intervention to let her know. The next time she's in my car, there's no smell at all. I'm thinking, oh, that's great. The third time she says to me, I've had a rough week. The people in the card game didn't want to sit next to me because they said I have so much perfume on that it affected their lungs. Two ladies and one lady couldn't sleep. And she said it really hurt my feelings the way they said it. So I said, well, I'm kind of grateful in a way that they said it, not ever that they hurt you. So I'd like to talk to you. I had a long talk with her. I told her, because she's got such a good brain and she's so with it. And I said, I just want to tell you what I've learned in the last 8 years, what I'd like to share with you. And she no longer wears perfume. I made her an essential oil perfume out of different oils with fractionated coconut oil, which she now wears. Today, I got to see her and spend an hour with her in between classes at the outdoor pool on 2 rocking chairs. And she was telling me how she would never have known that in a million years. And she wants to, as we were talking about the blue zones and staying well into our hundreds. And before I stayed with my mom, not only did I not know these things, but I wasn't open to listening to it. I wasn't, I just was in the thing of like, well, we live, we eat what we want, we do what we want, and then we, probably get sick, and that's the end. That's completely, that's not the end, and it's completely up to us. I mean, I have right now going through, as life would have it, out of nowhere, some really weird hormonal hot flashes. So I'm going to get to the bottom of it. I'm going to figure it out like what my mom does. I've already started. We have these Healy frequency vibration machines. I'm putting the hormone program on. I'm just going to figure out if there's something that I'm eating. I'm basically keto/ketovore, and I'm going to figure out if there's something, even possibly cheese or something that's aggravating my hormones. I will balance it. I will figure it out. But it's a gift that we can give ourselves to learn, like what my mom does, so that potentially we can, perhaps heal it ourselves without having to take a pill or without having to take something, you know, I mean, unless, of course, and we always say, like, that's everybody's choice. But I'm loving this way of healing and of doing things. And that, for me, I've done a lot of research on mental well-being. I've read a lot about the certain things that keto, being in ketosis, does to help our mental health, our, depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar, you name it. So I want to keep, because I want to feel, the things that happened in the past happen in the past, but there's the way that I can treat myself now and heal myself is to do it really through food, through movement, through ageless grace, through the people that I'm around. That's part of toxicity. And I really believe that. I weirdly came across a journal that I'd written to myself while I was gambling. And I looked at the people in the casinos that I was associating with, and I realized that was never going to fill me up. It was never going to fill my cup. It was never going to help me heal. And I've met some people when you make the room. My mom always says that. I've met some just unbelievable, including Helen, or I shouldn't say her name, I'm sorry, but my new friend, my 84-year-old friend, who's so spiritual and she's very religious. She's very kind. We're not even on the same page politically, although she's not really big into politics, but that doesn't matter. None of that matters. She's a good, wonderful human being that was brought into my life because I'm open to it and I'm open to learning and being on this journey. So I just wanted to share that. And I think that's part of the prevention of, and understanding that we can look into things when we're not feeling well. Of course, if it persists and it's, end up going for more help. But if we can kind of delve into it and feel it out ourselves, there's, no harm in that. Right, Mama?
No harm in that. Yeah, no, that's a lovely story when Tracy told me today that what had happened. And it's really important, I believe, to be open-minded and to be able to then decipher or decide if you want to go this way or that way and what works. But, I think that it's really important to be aware of what your body and brain are doing. Are you feeling some brain fog? Are you forgetting things? Are you having memory loss? Are you having autoimmune issues? Do you have high blood sugar? All these things are really signs of things going awry, and they're all pretty much reversible with the right tools. And going back to toxicity, what Tracy was talking about, we live in a very toxic world. And they talk a lot about the terrains. We have an internal terrain and an external terrain. And that is that we have internal and external environmental toxicity. And it's not just perfumes, it's the air we breathe, it's the water that we're drinking from the plastic. The plastic is a huge problem today for our bodies. Phytochemicals come from that. Even the water, that your tap water, do you know what's in it? There could be lead, there could be mercury, there could be all kinds of toxic things for the body. It's, going outside into nature is a great way to reverse a lot of things because you get grounded, your blood pressure starts to go down, your heart function improves when you're walking in grass, for example. And these are little things that people, um, are not really learning about and hearing about because the doctors don't tell you about that. They have the um, what presents to them, and then how they can fix it with medications, with injections, with surgery, and so on. So the big thing today is food. I have to say that. And I never really realized until relatively, maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago that this is the biggest toxicity of all. So that's one of the things people need to be looking at right now. What are they putting in their mouth and how does that affect their body? If they're getting diagnoses and more diagnoses, then, there's something going on. And I could bet that it's probably food related or even medication related. I'm working with a couple that I work with now who between them, it's a husband and wife, and they have 14 diagnoses, 14 different things that have happened between them. And so they're desperate. They want to be well. They both were very well until recently, and now it's starting to amplify. So once I started to talk to them, they are very, very open people. And it's a one step at a time, because it's too much to really even absorb all the things that can hurt us, including medications. Sometimes people are on medications that are not the right medications for them, but they don't know it and they don't realize that it may be harming them.
Yeah. I think, thinking of things like we used to take a lot more supplements than we do now, but now we're doing more of the meat, which there's a lot of different minerals in there. But I recently, things will happen just like they do in normal circumstances. I had like 2 toes that felt numb and it was freaking me out. It was just out of nowhere. And I would wiggle them, and I do that a lot in class. I'm always barefoot. I'm always in the grass. I stand outside in the sun. And I just was thinking, what is this? So weird. I wiggle my toes, told my mom, and she, and I would massage them. And I even have a little infrared little thing for my face that I bought that's supposed to get make it a little more, streamlined. And I was doing that to my toes. And there's a supplement that we take called Endocalix, which is a how would I describe it? It's to do with the blood barrier, but it is a, what's the word I'm looking for, Mom? Like
it's the microvascular. Yeah, it's this tiny vessels that we don't even know about, that are huge in our body, that are predictors of our health also.
So I used to take that religiously, and then I stopped. And I thought, I wonder what would get the blood flowing, or what would be. And I started taking them again, and it went away in like 4 days. I don't know if it's coincidence. I don't know if it's, but I did reorder it. I had stopped ordering it, and I had 1 bottle left. And I thought, well, I think it's like trial and error almost. And I think that's what we're doing. We're finding the things that are really working for us. I don't want to take 20 supplements. I don't think anybody does, but there are certain ones, certainly magnesium for us, because we eat a lot of meat, predominantly, mostly meat. So we do need that magnesium. Sometimes my legs ache a little bit. That is lack of magnesium. We have a magnesium actually with a little CBD, natural, in it. I put it on my legs and I take magnesium, and that goes away. And it's figuring out what that is. I know when I'm dehydrated. I know from listening to my mom and understanding how important water is, and the right kind of water. So we have an alkaline water machine. We call it all the things, from the sauna that we do every other day, to the healing machine, to the water, to the food that we use, to the putting our feet in the grass and our face in the sun. All of these are just going to give us a better quality of life. And like my mom said, we're on no medications, and I thank God for that. We don't have any diagnoses. And some people get confused. A diagnosis is something, whether it's a autoimmune disease, God forbid, Parkinson's, or, early onset dementia, cognitive issues. I mean, there's so many, blood sugar issues, diabetes, high blood pressure, all of these things. I just want to, because I was not healthy throughout my life, and I was blessed to never have something happen really with my health. I'm just going to, I got to do this big, big, big U-turn in life. So I want to share it. I even told my mom I'm going on a girls trip soon, and I'm going to make a commitment to myself not to just talk about, not to probably drive my friends a little crazy, although they're on the wellness journey with me. So I'm very grateful for that, but I'm very passionate about it. And when I meet people like this lovely 84-year-old lady, I went to my girlfriend's house today. She's fasting due to a religious thing, but we talk about health a lot and wellness. She's on the same journey. She's on a little bit of a different, doing like kombucha and kimchi and all these things. Whatever it is that we can find that's going to make us feel well and sleep well at night and not be depressed and feel physically good and be able to walk well and to move well and to this is what is the true form of wellness, and to keep our brain healthy. I mean, everybody has a little bit of overwhelm in life, or things that are a little bit of trauma. And, you know, recently I've learned a lot about this thing called glimmers from one of my friends who's on here. Um, but glimmers as opposed to triggers, like looking at the good things in life, the nature and the beautiful things that happen, meeting a new friend, you know, helping them with something so important, like, you know, not having toxins on their body. It's a glimmer. It's a glimmer in life, and it reverses the triggers. And I have some triggers from trauma, which is very natural and common, and we all do. And going from where I was to where I am is nothing short of a miracle. I mean, it's an actual miracle. So I get to live a miracle. So I'd like to share it, and I want to spread it around. And if you know it's brought to me in an 84-year-old client or one of my besties or my little group of glimmer friends, then I'm most grateful to be able to do it. So I know my mom is so passionate about what she does that sometimes it can almost be a lot, because it's been a lot for me, and it certainly was a lot for me and my sister throughout the adult part of our life. But I get it, and I really do get it, and it's from a truly good place. It's from a great place, of a place of wanting to help. You know, that's her purpose, and we all have a purpose. We just have to sometimes figure out exactly what it is. And she's, I think, always known hers. Now it's in more of a direction to do with the brain, and the precious brain, because if we don't have our brain, nothing else is going to matter if we don't have that. So I think that's
Well said, all of that.
well,
So yeah, well, talking about miracles, I have to say that that word was used quite a lot in the summit by these functional doctors and functional medicine doctors, and they say that miracles happen all the time, and they really do. I do believe in that. I do think, though, that we need to be invested in ourselves and in our bodies and in our brains, and to figure things out. I'm seeing it's almost time
I
to,
know
I
I
know
want
it's
to
so
say
quick, but
more.
I want to just repeat one thing that I have said in previous shows, because I think this is profound. I've been following Dr. Bruce Lipton for decades. The man is a researcher of genetics, world renowned, and he's in his fifth decade of being a researcher. He's in his 80s and he's unbelievable. And he says, and I believe him completely, that there are three causes of disease. There are three things that are the main causes of disease. And it's easy to remember because it's T's, three T's. It's trauma, it's thoughts, and it's toxicity. And if people understood that and how they get sick from those three things, I think we'd have a much healthier world. We'd have much healthier people, because that's a simple philosophy, really, and it makes total sense to me. And I believe this. I read his Biology of Belief book many years ago, and he's just a brilliant man. He also says that we pay too much attention to genetics. A lot of people are, well, I got rheumatoid arthritis because my mother had it and my grandmother had it. That may be true, but he says that the general, if you can make a general for all disease, percentage of um, the propensity to get some disease from your parents or your grandparents or your aunts or whoever is like 3 to 5%. And he also says, and that's taken as an average. So we know that breast cancer, for example, is 10%. But we have, he says, all the research he's done over these 50 years has shown him that it's even less than that, that it's 2%. So we can't blame our grandma and we can't blame our uncle. It's lifestyle choices, the choices we make, but sometimes things are imposed upon us, and we have trauma, like Tracy's talking about. I've had quite a lot of trauma in my life as well. And it's being exposed to toxicity of all kinds, whether it's water, whether it's air, whether it's fragrances and perfumes, whether it's toxic people in your life. There's so many potential things, whether it's wearing lipstick that has lead in it, with, making a choice to not do that, wearing mascara that has mercury in it, or whether it's thoughts that so many people are living in their story from way back when. And it's,
So let's, okay, sorry, I didn't want to cut you off, but I think it's that time.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I want to end on.
Well, okay, that's good.
I just want to end on a very, and that was wonderful, and I agree with everything you're saying. We're just going to say that everything is our health is our wealth, and it's all in our hands, all of it. So thank you so much, Ms.
You're
Lana.
so welcome, and my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay.